Hey guys, Steve from the Tech Buzz Gaming here, and today I want to talk to you about five of, in my opinion, the worst Nintendo accessories ever made. And in some cases, they're the most valuable. Let's take a look at it. Alright, first off, I want to apologize for my voice. I have a sinus infection, but I'm on medication. I'm getting better, but I didn't want to miss out on the opportunity to talk to you about this today. So let's not waste any more time. Let's dive right into it and let's check it out. My number 5, if you will, in this is, you guessed it, the Power Pad. Let's take a look.
All right, let's start with number 5, the Nintendo Power Pad. Yes, long before teenage girls were playing Dance Dance Revolution, the Nintendo Power Pad was the floor-based controller pad of choice. The Nintendo Power Pad worked by applying pressure to sensors placed between two layers of plastic. When pressure was applied to a button, it would activate a movement in the game. Now, unfortunately, the Nintendo Power Pad only worked with 6 games: World Class Track Meet, Stadium Events, Running Stadium, they were basically the same game, Dance Aerobics, Athletic World, Super Team Games, and Short Order. What's worse, people soon found out, like myself, that the mat can be exploited by using your hands. Growing up, we loved the Power Pad. We thought it was great. We had Super Team Games and we had World Class Track Meet. But I don't think it fared the test of time, even though some of the kids, when they come over, they quite enjoy it.
Oh, don't mind me. I'm sitting here playing another bad accessory that Nintendo made, and that is the DK bongos. Let's take a look.
Alright, now number 4, DK bongos. Now this is for the GameCube. The DK bongos are a controller for the Nintendo GameCube that were designed by Namco Bandai. The controller was designed with Donkey Kong in mind and only compatible with 4 Donkey Kong games. Other games were planned to embrace the DK bongos. However, for one reason or another, no other games ever came out, and the DK bongos were left collecting dust. Now for me, my kids actually got to play this at the Cleveland Gaming Classic. It is a rhythm game, and they had a blast playing it. So, reluctantly, I picked up 2 sets. But, what are your thoughts?
Next is something near and dear to me, and it's still a very bad accessory, and that is the Power Glove. The Power Glove, never had it as a kid, but this is something that's near and dear to me. Let's take a look.
That brings us to number 3, the Nintendo Power Glove. The Nintendo Power Glove was released in 1989. While it may have been a huge critical and commercial failure, nostalgia for the device is still strong, along with its value. The glove itself features all the buttons you wouldn't find on any NES gamepad, as well as a few others. The main draw, however, was how it used special speakers and sensors to keep track of the player's hand position, though not particularly well. Only 2 games were released with the Power Glove specifically in mind: Super Glove Ball and Bad Street Brawler, both of which could be played with a standard NES controller. The Power Glove is probably best remembered for its central role in the Nintendo-produced movie called The Wizard, where it pulled from its box like a holy relic. If you haven't seen it, you're missing out. Now, I know personally, my son loved playing this with Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, but for me, just give me a controller and I'll take on the big guy all by myself.
Okay. Maybe you're still with me, maybe you're not, maybe you agree with me, maybe you don't. The next one is this, the Super Scope 6. I don't know what it is about these accessories, but some of them, they keep going up in value, even though they're one of the worst. Let's take a look.
Number 2 on my list is for the SNES, and that is the Super Scope. My brother had this growing up, and honestly, the only games we ever had for this were the 6 included games. Now, they did make other games for it as it came out, but not a ton. The Super Scope was Nintendo's bazooka-shaped light gun that was released in 1992. At just under 2 feet long, it was a fairly large device, and it seemed incredibly unnecessary, especially when the handgun-sized NES Zapper worked so well. However, it wasn't just size that was the problem. The Super Scope would eat through 6 AA batteries in about 4 hours. It could only be used on CRT TV sets, not to mention the shoulder ache that you would get from using it. Even with all these issues, like I said before, it was the paltry list of games supporting the Super Scope that doomed it into obscurity. Like I said, we had a lot of fun growing up with it, but again, it's just a bad device.
Okay, finally, the number one thing, my pick of the worst Nintendo accessories of all time, but yet one of the coolest. This guy right here, Rob. Rob was really cool, but let's take a look.
Number 1, good old Rob. Nintendo Rob was Nintendo's first attempt at putting Johnny 5 inside every NES owner's home way back in 1985. Today, it's still very sought after as getting the Rob action set from Nintendo. Rob attached to your NES and received instructions from your TV in the form of light flashes with 6 commands that could be executed. Now, unfortunately, Rob was a complete failure that really never took off for a variety of reasons. First off, Rob only worked with certain CRT televisions. Secondly, it could only be used with 2 games. That's right, 2 games, Gyromite and Stack Up, and that's it. The third and final reason for the failure of Rob is that it was about as fun as watching paint dry, and I can tell you from experience of owning it, it's cool to show people that this was the technology back in 1985, but I would never play a game with it. It's slow, it's clunky, and honestly, it's just not fun. So unfortunately, Nintendo's first attempt at having AI, if you will, failed miserably.
So there you have it, guys. That is my complete list of 5 of the worst Nintendo accessories, in my opinion, of all time. Like always, I appreciate everybody coming out here, watching the video, liking, commenting, sharing. Let me know if I missed it. I'm okay with that. Maybe you have a list of your own. Guys, until next time, keep it buzzing. So finally, my number 1 pick as one of the worst accessories Nintendo ever had is this guy right here. We're gonna redo that.